Hello everyone. Hopefully you can hear me over all the noise that the cleaning robot is making, but I have finally started properly reading the Pandora Hearts Volume 7. I haven't really had that much time to do that, and I've been quite busy. I'm also going out today as well, so my my extroverted ass actually really loves the fact that I get to do this and see my friends, because I did have like a slight little, just a tiny crisis on Sunday. But the good thing is that after I've shared about that and journaled about it as well, the universe was like, oh yeah, you have friends. I've been just, roaming around recently, which was really cool, and I had the means to do so, which was also amazing, and I feel very grateful for that. But I have started reading. I still need to finish getting ready. I don't have makeup on or anything, but jeez, I still have 2 hours, so I think I'm gonna manage to do it. I started volume 7, and there was such cute moments, because this is where we get a little bit of a glimpse into Jack's head, I guess, and some of these just are so cute. For this Oz and Elliot, oh my god, I love Elliot so much, and Leo as well. But this Oz, come on. I actually thought about vlogging this because I saw a very cool quote. That's thing one, and thing two is that I'm actually, vlogging that I'm reading down here. This is the quote. If the moment I recognize my weakness is where my strength begins, can I still keep going forward from now on, I wonder? Even with all these mixed up feelings inside of me, still, I don't want to hang my head with shame in this light. I love him so much. Also, this, just the moment I recognize my weakness is where my strength begins. Chef's kiss. Love it so much. Oh my god, and Lacey. The song, the pocket watch song. Why does that hit me so hard? I don't know. I really don't. But I always had this, oh my god, this song. I don't know. Right, I forgot that in this one, Elliot says that he's the one who composed it, but later we find out that Leo asks him why did he say that when it was Leo who composed it, I believe? Or they did that together. I think Leo was the one who actually gave the song to Elliot or taught him the song. So that was also a hint, because we had Glenn and Jack in this chapter as well. It just all makes sense, It all makes sense. Okay, I am on chapter 28, modulation, retrace. 28, modulation. And oh my goodness, I forgot how cool the illustrations are for this as well. Very nice. But I'm gonna read that later. I need to go and get ready, and it's gonna take a while, probably. So, hello everyone. I am very tired and look like poop. I am so sleepy, but I've had a really go past 3 days, I believe. This week was crazy. Anyway, I feel like the end of last week was crazy. But that's when the crazy started. Anyway, I I am pretty tired, but I do have things to do. It's just that it's 1:23 at the moment, and I am still chilling in my PJs. I am still drinking my coffee, and I thought that since I'm drinking my coffee, I can still chill for a little bit more and read a chapter of Pandora Hearts, Volume 7. I am so beat, which is why we're just gonna read. So this is a little recap, but not exactly like I usually do after reading a volume of Pandora Hearts. But I just finished volume 7, and there are a few things that I wanted to talk about before I forgot, because I guess I'm gonna update you on all the things this volume probably tomorrow. Thing one, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before or if I've noticed this before, but the ink use of an illegal contractor actually has a heart on it. And I don't know if I've noticed that before. I feel like I have, and I mentioned it somewhere to someone probably, or someone mentioned it to me, I'm not sure. But like I was reading today and I was like, oh my goodness, that's a heart. Because there was a heart, and there was this like symbol that kind of resembled the shadow hunters symbol, but that's so like, wow, that's a heart. Pandora's heart. The second thing is again my theory of like the abyss, the place where Alice, or the intention of the abyss, is being actual Pandora's box. You know? Because it was mentioned here before that, like, what if there being like not only hope left in the box or something of that sort, but whenever they show the abyss in the room where Alice is, it always reminds me of like Pandora box. That there's this thing, you know, like her in that box with all those dolls and stuff like that. It's just insane. And I just always think about that when they show that. It's like a box, Pandora's box. The third thing is that I completely forgot that my favorite character, Break, actually has a different name, and he's got a past that I completely forgot about. I feel like I just like erased that from my memory. I completely forgot what sort of past he's had, and it was so cool to read this because I kind of like felt as if I'm reading this for the first time, even though I wasn't. But it was cool. So there was that. We found out a lot about his past, and The fourth thing is that I really like how by showing us all of these different characters' pasts, they kind of sprinkle a little bit of the story of how the tragedy of Sablier actually had happened, you know? Because I feel like these things kind of explain how that happened to an extent. And it's very, very cool. So I think you could put that together in some ways. But yeah, I also just find it insane that Brake had seen Vincent and Gilbert as kids in the Abyss because when Brake got there and he was with the intention of the Abyss, the tragedy of Sablier had happened. And I feel like that's also the reason that Brake wanted to find out about the tragedy of Sablier, like what really happened 100 years ago and stuff like that. But I don't exactly remember what was his reason at the moment, so we'll see as I read on. But it's very, very cool. I just finished volume 7 and like I love it so much. Pandora Hearts. There were so many cool scenes and the characters look so good and everything. It's just chef's kiss. Love it so much. But I will update you on volume 7 tomorrow and I'm gonna edit a video for now. Hello everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. Here to report on Pandora Hearts volume 7. I feel like I haven't sat in front of this bookshelf in a while, and so here I am. I'm sitting on the cold hard ground in goat sound. And I did update you on my thoughts after I finished volume 7 this time, and just a few bits here and there that had inside of my head, you know. But now we're gonna go ahead and see what I have written in here. I can tell already that I have liked the same things last time and this time as well. I've given the volume 4.5 stars the last time, and yeah, I would still, I think, give it 4 to 4.5. Favorite quotes. This body shall become the blade that will destroy the death gods. At this point, when you're reading it for the first time, you don't know that Chuck actually isn't good, so he was quite cool for saying that. To be rejected, a coward who is overly sensitive to the surrounding reactions. This is something that Oz had said. Yeah, because this volume is really focused on showing Oz's growth in mentality, in the way that he sees himself and his role and everything, which was a very cool thing that I really liked about this volume again. The unknown will summon fear. Being oblivious will lead the person into danger. The opposite will have the same result as well. The things you know might bring fear too. This was said by Parma. If fear clings onto me, then I'll bring it with me, but I will seek for the reason why I exist in order to continue being who I am now. I think this was also said by Oz. It was a very cool quote. Because it's so true, isn't it? Like, fear is everywhere. We just have to deal with it and bring it along for the ride. Thoughts. Loved how Oz's growth was shown, his change in mentality. And here's a quote. Even when I learned about my own weakness, if I wanted to be strong from now on, I should still keep moving forward, right? Carrying such messy thoughts, even so for the sake of this light. I love it so much. This was like the shift, like something had clicked for him, and I love this so much. Loving the banter bickering between Oz and Break. I adore them. They're complex, but I love that about them. Do I even need to say? I love Break so much. Exquisite. Love it. And yes, I love that banter bickering thing between them. And here I thought, is Elliot the reincarnation of Glenn? I was close, not close enough. But I was close. Because it's Leo. The Will of Abyss, Alice explained that she can transform humans into chains. The other Alice, question mark, resurrect unliving and control time, which is a lot. It is a lot. It was a lot the first time, and this time it's like I knew, but still it's just sort of I don't know. I'm still, as I keep going with this manga, I am still like figuring out certain things, which is very, very cool, and I love that. And I forgot to add here that she can, that chains can take on human form, which is insane when you think about it. If you've read this before, then you know already. But it's certain someone. So this is also that. But that's volume 7. I'm gonna go ahead and read volume 8 and see what I think this time. But I already know that I'm gonna love it. And to think that last time it took me a day to read multiple volumes. And this time I'm like taking it so painfully slow. But that time I didn't have other things to do, I guess, but this time I do. So anyway, that's the update, and I'm gonna update you whenever I read on. Hello everyone. Wait, maybe I should get my tripod. Allow me to set you up here. Like so. Like so. No, that was unfortunate. Anyway, I'm gonna sit here for a second. Completely different angle. I don't think you ever see anything from this angle, to be honest. I'm here because I'm not sure if you could properly hear me when I was giving you a recap of volume 7, but hopefully it was okay. The thing is, I'm reading volume 8 right now, and I completely forgot just how many things we got regarding Echo and regarding Oz and Echo, and how Oz actually influences Echo. And I completely forgot about the break thing. Gilbert was like having his flashbacks as well. There's just so many things that I kind of like erased from my mind, I guess, that got buried in my mind, like deeper than others. And now that I'm reading them, I'm like, I got so emotional a few times when reading that scene of the festival with Oz and Echo. And it was just, like, I can't even explain it. I could blame it on my PMS as well, because that is partially, I think, what happened. But at the same time, it's like, I just love them so much. And it's such an interesting volume. And like, when I was reading it, I was like, oh yeah, this is exactly why I gave it a 4.5, because I think I mentioned that I gave this one as well a 4.5, like volume 7. And like I can definitely see why I did that with volume 8. With volume 7, less this time than the first time. But it feels pretty crazy, to be honest with you, to read that again, because there's just so many things that I like actually forgot. And now that I'm remembering them, I can like sort of, like I always say, like there's just so many hints like early on. And there's also just so much about, like, for example, Vincent that I know now, right? Where I guess that it's just a PTSD in Vincent's case. I think that how Vincent is acting has a lot to do with the fact that he's got a PTSD, but also just the way that he was brought up. As in, as in he was basically orphaned along with Gilbert, and since Vincent had 2 different colored eyes and one of them was red, he was said to be a child of ill omen. You know, when people were judging him like that and he was experiencing like harassment and bullying because of that, I feel like that really affected him as a person, hence having PTSD, hence doing all of those things for Gilbert, and hence feeling like he just wants to erase his own existence, you know. And it's a lot, because now he's obviously a grown-up and he's still stuck in that PTSD. Like, there's nothing that really helped him. And I think that one more thing that I really overlook is how messed up actually Gilbert was as well. Because he was always the one who had to be needed. He needed a place to belong, and once he belonged somewhere, he would do anything to stay in said place, you know? Stay belonging in that place. Stay belonging to that master, for example, right? And it just feels insane, to be honest. Because I was so like in love with Gilbert's character that I kind of really overlooked the fact that he's also not well, you know. He's just, you know, going through things in his own way. Plus he doesn't have memories. Plus he's just a completely different person than Vincent is, you know. And he was acting like an older brother when they were kids. He's acting like an older brother now, but he will always stay more loyal to his master rather than the brother that he doesn't remember and he doesn't really have proper bond with, which is also super interesting. I don't know, it's crazy to me, because Gilbert is like a very protective older brother when you see them as kids, you know. I think that that's gonna come in the next volume, perhaps. There will be a scene where we're gonna see Gilbert protecting Vincent because people were harassing them because Vincent had that red eye. And that's like, for a child to do, because that's his brother, it's a huge thing. But also Gilbert was like weak at times to the point that he wanted to leave his brother. They were going through a lot and they were kids, like you can't really blame a kid for wanting to just escape that. But at the same time, those behaviors also impacted Vincent, which is it's so complex. Oh my god. There's just like big brain behind all of it. Truly. And I just feel like Mochizuki Jun is just brilliant when it comes to writing characters as well as plot. But the characters in itself are always slaying. Always. So that's the update for now. I have one more chapter left in this volume to read. I think I might finish it today. I might finish it in a second and give you an update while I'm still able to do that. I apparently kind of miscalculated something, and I was already, when I was talking to you about like reading that chapter with the festival and stuff, that's the last chapter in volume 8, but we can go ahead and talk about volume 8, which I have given 4.5 stars, and I do stand by that still. Also, the next volume has this Echo cover, and I love it so much. I love Echo. So we have thoughts and quotes. Me who only lives for himself will never become stronger. something that Oz had said, and I do agree. I did love that quote. Alice and Will of Abyss sound similar and are also twins, so crazy. Yeah. The fact that this came out, we found out that they're twins, was insane. Absolutely insane. Completely crazy. I don't know. There's another quote. Perhaps you're weaker than I expected, but I think you're much stronger than you think you are. That's something that Oz had said to Break after he shared his life story, and Oz kind of felt like Break was running away from some of his feelings, you know, which is very interesting because you sort of don't expect that from Break, but at the same time, you're not very surprised that he's done that sort of thing, you know, where he hides his feelings. So I love that quote. I love that he said that. I just feel like they really got closer after sharing all those things, and like it was just such a special moment. I really, really loved it. This is great as main character. Love growth, smart, and cheerful. Yeah. I adore Oz, and I adore the way that the author actually draws them. They are so, so, so beautiful, and I love them so much because like even the expressions and everything just give off so many feelings, and I just love it so much. Cause of misfortune sounds so good. What the hell? Do not swear. The cause of misfortune. What was I talking about here? I don't know. But whatever it was, I really loved it. I think it's because this is translated differently than the one that I'm reading on the app, which is why it's not clicking in my head right now. Echo greater than everything else. Gil is perf, but sure has attachment issues. Lol. He does. Like I said. I don't like how everyone says he's useless. Yeah, I don't. I really, really don't. Although this time I'm not paying as much attention to that. I did really, really hate the fact that everybody said that he's useless, because he's not. I don't think that just because you're emotional and stuff like that you are useless. So, you know, I like that Alice was accepted as a friend. It was very cute. It was very cute. It's none of your concern. That doesn't mean it doesn't matter. Echo. I think this is something that Oz had said to her before, that when she was hunting Felipe, or rather Felipe's dad, she said that like Felipe is none of Oz's concern, and that's sort of something that really stuck with Echo, which is very cool because you could see that her actions following this were actually different than they would have been if she's never met Oz. Okay, and now we are going on to volume 9. I don't really have like much other thoughts, and I don't want these videos to be like super, super long, because I know that they're going to be, but still. We have so many volumes left to go, so I'm only 2 volumes in this video. So, I'm being slow. We're gonna talk about this later, whenever I'm finished with the next volume. Hello everyone, here to update you on volume 9 of Pandora Hearts, because I've just like literally just finished volume 9, and oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna update you pretty quickly because there's things I need to do because I'm gonna go out. It was very cool, and I feel like this time I had a little bit more appreciation for this volume, I guess, and the things that it was talking about, because there were a lot of things that are leading us to these big reveals, but also we had something sprinkled in already, you know. It's very interesting because, like, for example, this volume ends on everybody, like, from the main trio, which is Gilbert, Alice, and Oz, seeing some sort of memory because they're going down into the hole that is left after the tragedy of Sablier. And Oz is the only one who is in Sablier at the moment of the tragedy, let's say, right? I mean, the only one that like is experiencing the bloodbath of it. He's walking through this like terrible, terrible scenery of dead bodies and everything. And I just feel like we've read it once already. Like, this is a huge hint, because we're getting hinted that Oz had something to do with it. We don't know what yet, but we know that he had something to do. And if you read it already, then you know, but it's like, it's a lot, honestly. Yeah, it's crazy. And also, yeah, that's something that I've noticed in the beginning when we had Zwei show up. If you know, you know. But after you've read this volume, you like know that Echo and Noise are like, you know, one person is split personality. Like, we know that already, but now you know that Noise is Zwei, like, for sure. It's also very insane, but that's one thing that I remembered when I was starting this manga again, you know, it did confuse me for a bit that I was like remembering that wrong. I wasn't. So yeah, she did try to kill Gilbert, and that was because of Vincent again. There's just a lot of things. I gave this a 4-star before, and I feel like it still stands, but I would like even give it a 4.25 now, which is still very good. To say about the art, because it's just I just feel characters are just so beautiful because the line is so beautiful. Like, the art is so just chef's kiss. I would really truly love to own these physically and own like things from Pandora Hearts, like in like merch or something, you know. Like, I would love to have like some art from it because it's just so beautiful. I love it so much. And I also love the moment where Gilbert saved Alice, like saved, because he did wait until the very last second because his memories are coming back, which is also super exciting and kind of not exciting at the same time. The Vincent and Lottie scene, I don't think that I registered the fact that he was getting handsy with her in those 3 panels that we had. And that was pretty important, because you can see that the relationship they had was physical, because we started with that chapter, and it was very, very cool. Now, my thoughts and quotes. Let's see what I have in here. There's like first little sticky note. There's gonna be way more. Thoughts and quotes. I love that we got to see the super confused Gil, his memories coming back, and him sort of losing control of his own current self. Him and Alice are similar there. Yeah, that's the same thing that Oz had said. Like, they are similar. And it's also pretty cool to see that Alice was so vulnerable with Gilbert, and at the same time to see Gilbert being vulnerable with Oz. I think that I even like Alice more than I have the first time that I've read this manga. So that's very good. It's kind of like interesting to read about this and see that they are worried that they're going to lose their current selves if they regain memories of their pasts, which makes total sense, but still. We get to see Sablier, which is awesome, and see an old character, Felipe, and some other reappear. Yeah. Sablier is looking crazy in this. It's pretty sick, to be honest. And I like that we have a lot of like things about Leo and Elliot as well. And there's a lot of diving into Elliot's character actually at the moment. So I'm gonna feel so sad when things happen again. And I like that we have a lot of appearances of Leo, but at the same time, like, we don't know the thing that we're gonna know later just yet. But I feel like it's getting hinted, because whenever Leo appears, there's mentions of Glenn. Noise and Vincent, Ada and Vincent, WTF, lol. So she was looking at Gil like that, lol. yes, it is. But I remember being shocked that it was like Ada and Vincent. Vincent having a date with Ada, just, I don't know. For some reason, I never really vibed with Ada. And the last one is WTF is Oz. The power of that kid is insane. We're getting into volume 10, which is my favorite volume because of things. Entire chapter 38. Let's try and read these sticky notes. I don't know if I'll be able to, but this world to me, it's just the same as darkness that swallows everything. But because she's there, because she found me, I was able to find hope from Pandora's box. But the world has once again snatched away my hope. Pandora's box, which has lost its hope. Isn't the only thing left inside of it despair? No, nothing is left inside anymore. If all hope is snatched away, there won't even be despair left. Glenn Baskerville about the upcoming Sably Earth tragedy. And probably Lacey. I do love that. I do love the reference to Pandora's box because it was like mentioned way before, and this is just the extension of that. Really love that. I love that. Oh my god, that's so cool. I cannot wait to dive into volume 10, so we're gonna do that soon, and then we're gonna have more because we're gonna finish on volume 12 since I'm reading 6 for every single video. That's that for now. Hope you enjoyed the update. I really love being back in this world, so we're gonna read more a little bit later around the weekend. Actually, there's one more thing that I forgot to mention, right? And that thing is the fact that Vincent is actually very sadistic and he takes out a lot of things on Echo, and he's really not a very good person in that sense, you know, because he's using her in ways that he shouldn't. He's basically harassing her, even though that she is like his servant, I guess, or whatever, but he still is just, you know, molesting her, really, because that's sort of what Echo says to Oz when they sit on the rooftop, and she's like, oh yeah, I just don't get like why he makes me sit on his lap whenever he's like doing something or whatever, right? He's just so bad. He's just so wrong. And he is very sadistic, and he did hit her a lot of times. He made her switch with noise and stuff like that, which is just like, I don't know. I know that it's like some of these behaviors are PTSD in him, but that doesn't excuse anything, you know? Like, he's still just kind of awful. But I still love him as a character because of all of these like complexities and just how messed up he is, I guess, you know? Because it's interesting to really dive into why villains are villains, you know? So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Also, I finally did my hair for when I'm about to go out, and like I saw this reel for this coquette hairstyle, and like, I mean, come on, it's bows. I can't hide this elastic for some reason. I'm so sorry, but oh my goodness, like, it's so cute. Hello everyone. It's been a while since I last vlogged for this video. I was back in my hometown, so when I was reading, I was just, you know, just chilling and actually reading, not recording myself. I did like put, I think, 2 clips of me reading. I think I did take 2 clips of me reading, so you probably have seen that already. And I was reading, I believe, the 12th volume, I think, and I think I left you for starting volume 10. I think we've discussed volume 9, I believe, which I actually kind of lied to you about because I said that I've read the entirety of volume 9, which I don't think I have, because I don't think I've read chapter 37 at the time. And I think 37 was still in volume 9, which is why these quotes from Glenn, and I was kind of confused because I didn't have like a thing from Glenn, but now it makes sense. So I basically skipped 1 chapter, but I think we've discussed the entire thing. So we're gonna start with volume 10. Overall, I really enjoy being back in this world of Pandora Hearts. I enjoy the characters so much, enjoy their stories, their complexity, and I feel like I can really get deeper into them now that I've read this before and I'm rereading this versus just reading the first time. And it's so cool to see so much foreshadowing, to see so many hints that were literally like so in your face, yet you never realized until you got to like one of the last volumes where things were revealed. But yeah, it's really insane. I love it so much. There's so many scenes that I enjoy. I am not going to like go through the entire manga and show you right now, because like the last video that I've been actually editing was like 2 hours long, I think, so we're just not gonna do that. But just know that there are so many scenes, so many like cool moments for the characters that I truly enjoyed so much. And yeah, it's awesome. I really love rereading this so much. And there's, I think, 1 volume where I thought that I would give it probably like a star less, and I think it was volume 10. I was saying that the scene that I thought was going to happen in volume 10 is actually not from volume 10. But I remember loving volume 10 as well. I still do. I really do. And I think it's because of chapter 38, because I have like freaked out in here about chapter 38. Yeah, there were some that I would still agree with my rating, and there were some that I think I would even bump it a little bit. But yeah, so basically I remembered wrong, and my favorite chapter, like in like the volume that I wanted tattooed on my brain, was volume 14, and the chapter with I'm his left eye or whatever was not volume 10. I think I said that was volume 10, which, yeah, sorry about that. It was just things I remembered, but that's why I'm rereading this, to remember which volumes were my faves and which chapters were my faves. So we're gonna go to volume 10, which I originally gave 5 stars to. I think I would give it like a 4.5 now, but I'm gonna leave the 5-star just because I really enjoyed the story here, and obviously entire chapter 38, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, WTF, exclamation mark. I love that 3 times, exclamation mark again. Oh, I've actually read this on the 2nd of November 2022. So crazy, it was so long ago. Favorite quotes. Things that you're able to remember don't necessarily bring happiness. Not that I am needed, afraid that Oz no longer needs me, afraid to lose my place to belong. That was like actually a huge thing, because this reveals a lot about Gilbert, about the fact that he is really dependent on other people needing him, you know? And yeah, it was crazy. I think it was the volume, or one of these was the volume where we had the past of Gilbert and Vincent. It's insane. Like I can't really blame Vincent for being the antagonist in this and being so twisted when he's been through so much, you know? He's got huge PTSD because of what happened at Sablier, and the reason why it happened, because it was not supposed to happen the way it did. So at first he was shocked that this is happening, but at the same time he wanted to do it because of his brother, you know. And his brother was kind of suffering because of him, or he saw that Gilbert was suffering because of him. Even when Gilbert was trying to leave Vincent, like, he never really could. So this dynamic was that, in a way, it was also Vincent needed Gilbert. Gilbert had that, like, this person needs me sort of thing, and Vincent had this, like, knowledge of, oh yeah, my brother could leave me at any point, so I'm going to do everything I can for my brother to have a happier life from now on. And yeah, it's kind of insane, because like that's sort of an excuse to Vincent every single time that he is doing like whatever he's doing for his brother. Next quote: "Warm people, a warm place to belong. Gil won't have to get hurt by protecting me, like a dream world." But that's exactly what I was saying, that Vincent saw it as Gilbert like being hurt all the time because of him. And it's, you know, kind of true, because they were orphaned. Like, they didn't really have a place to belong, so they were living on the streets, and they didn't really have like a place that would be safe for them, because everybody saw Vincent as this child of ill omen because of his red eye. And they I think they both had long hair, but it's just that Vincent had long hair to hide his eye, which is, yeah, crazy. And what's even crazier is the fact that we actually saw that Vincent like came up to Break when he was a kid, and after Break came out of the abyss, I think. And he said that, oh, you're also a child of ill omen, to Break. And Break just has red eyes, really. But when he came out of the abyss, he had only one eye, and said eye was also red. So Vincent was definitely broken because of the society, and he became so twisted because of the people. He was basically, you know, broken because of people being mean to him, and that really took a toll on him. It took a toll on Gil, obviously, who was his older brother, and is his older brother, and he obviously wanted to protect his younger brother. And yeah, it was heartbreaking, really. And it really makes you feel for Vincent, which I really, really like, because I like those morally gray antagonist characters that are more than just an antagonist for the sake of being an antagonist, you know? Although those characters are also very fun. Using hope to constrict hatred. It's about time you graduated from being a spoiled brat, or else eventually you will use your own hand to hurt things most important to you. That was said by Break. I think he said that to Gilbert, actually, which is kind of crazy. I actually wrote next to thoughts, important volume, in capital letters. Entire chapter 38, WTF, I love that. That's my first thought. Second, actually, all the chapters, this volume slayed so hard. And like, I can see where I was coming from. It definitely slayed less this time, because I think I was less hyped for this volume because I took a break between reading the volumes, whereas the first time I've just been binging them like one after another, and it was the best ride. But this time, like, I couldn't do it, like I can't, and I really would want to, but I really can't. I think that really reflects in how I feel about the volumes. That's not to say that I'm not excited every single time to get back to these, and I am not hyped, because I am. But it definitely is a different sort of feeling when you're like really hyped and really into this one world and read everything at once, versus just taking a break and then going back to it, and it just feels a little bit different, I think. I was so confused at times, I think because of the amount of information that were being thrown at me, but I loved every second of it, and especially the speculating, connecting the dots is so cool, and you can guess right. Yeah, I definitely was confused the first time, because there's, like, at this point, there is a lot of information being thrown at you from like so many different aspects. The story really gets super deep and you can kind of get confused at times. But like the second time reading this, I'm completely fine. The fact that you can guess right, like you definitely can guess some things right, and that's very satisfying, but also like just shows how much foreshadowing there is. I loved finding out way more about Gilbert's life and seeing his thoughts as he was taking care of Vincent, which leads me to say I adored seeing why Vincent is the way he is. Completely agree, I just said that, basically. I think it was in this volume or one of the earlier volumes where Brake was actually carrying Gil because he like found him so he could get the nitrate chain, which is Raven, so they could access Abyss and stuff. It's awesome. Like it's so great. And I also just love the dynamic between Brake and Gil, because Brake is just so honest. Like he is just honest to the point where he could hurt people and he won't really care that much, which is also kind of great for his character, and I love that. WTF is going on with us anyway? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I think it was the first time that we saw us using Scythe without Alice being around and without actually turning into the rabbit or having the rabbit like, you know, show up or something. Only the Scythe did. I think that's the volume. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. Elliot and Leo also showed up and that was great. I love them so much. Love them so much. So much. I hate us as father. LOL. Also guess who's a Glenn reincarnation, I think. Hehe. So many more thoughts though. I agree. I really don't like Oz's father, but at a later point you find out why he treats Oz the way he does. About the Glenn reincarnation, I think I was thinking about Gilbert here, although I'm not sure, because we were pointed that Gilbert was supposed to be a Glenn reincarnation, which is why when he was little, Gilbert actually got the seal of Raven, which is his chain, which is why now as an adult being from the Nitrate Dukedom, he actually could get Raven again, and why Raven actually agreed. And we're going to volume 11, which I have given 5 stars to, again, which is awesome. I have thoughts and quotes in one. So we have a thought. Break, sad face, and crying face. I love him as a character and don't want him to die. Oh yeah, oh my goodness, yeah. Because we're at the point where Break is kind of exerting himself, and so his powers are leading him to pass out a lot, and he is on the verge of dying, actually, which is very, very sad. Us wanting to be friends with Elliot just screams Jack and Glenn. And Elliot was... Oh. Did I think that perhaps Elliot was the Glenn reincarnation? I think that I could have been thinking that was Elliot. Anyway, Elliot was cute telling us to not hurt his adoptive brother, aka Gil. Oh yeah, happy crying face. Yeah, that was a very cute scene. I did find it cute this time around as well. We had a little bit more past of Elliot as well, which was very cool to see. We did see how Gilbert actually got Raven and how Elliot was, I guess, reacting to that and how like their relation was looking like. I kind of am sad that we never really got like a brotherly bond between Elliot and Gilbert, but I also understand why. The entire thing about the Queen of Hearts and off with his head and stuff like that, that is insane. And that, like, the first time I was reading it, I would never think who was the Queen of Hearts, how that entire thing actually happened. Okay, but continuing with the thought. Alice suspects something about Raven is off, I think. Yeah, I think she did, because Gil was like acting a little bit different. I think that he was kind of rethinking where he belongs as well, and so like where his loyalty lies, which was interesting to see, but at the same time, like, we didn't really get a lot of like depth in that sense. We just kind of saw him like say stuff and like smile at us and tell him that it's okay, and us telling him that like whatever Gil chooses he will like, you know, take normally and he will be fine and stuff like that. Liam yelling at Xerxes because he's his friend, crying face. I love that, because Liam is really like one of the few friends that Break has. So Power of Raven, 3 times exclamation mark. If you couldn't tell who is my fave. And Gil being relaxed when using it, slay. He's powerful. He obtained him/it. I remember that scene, and I actually posted that on Instagram. That was my favorite scene, and it like one of my favorite scenes. Everybody, I guess, says that Gil is really useless, but I really don't think that he is. He's just a very emotional guy, and he needs a place to belong and someone to need him, which is fine, I think. He obviously feels the need to be needed to a higher extent than you normally probably would, but yeah, but I really loved that scene because he just like came in there and was like, you know, used Raven just like that, and his face was just like so determined, and he just looked so good, and I just really loved the art in that scene as well. In the entire manga, as you know. A quote, "To keep Break by my side, just standing by him is not enough. I have to move forward too." That was said by Sharon, and actually Gilbert also kind of took that to heart, but he took that to heart as in like the fact that Oz is trying to move forward, and so Gil should too. Which is interesting, because I'm like I guess you never really have this idea that someone is standing in place because there's so much happening that they're stagnant and stuff like that, but there's a lot of discussions actually about moving forward, like moving on, not being stuck in the past and stuff like that, even with characters that you wouldn't think were stuck in the past. Elliot's dream, surprised face. Gil being big bro vibes. Crying face. And that's on the head and smile. Oh yeah, because this was the scene where he patted Alice on the head and thanked her for stopping Oz, and that was very cute because he just, you know, he was just giving older brother vibes, and that's just so cute. And Alice was also very cute because after he patted her on the head, she like ran after him, and it was just so sweet, so cute. Quote, "Later on, if you still can choose, it will really cause problems. Take just enough time, then tell me your answer. Even if you don't know if I'll accept it, I still will." That's Oz to Gil, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Oz and Gil have an interesting relation. Friends, but not really. You can really feel the hierarchy and Oz being master. Yeah, I guess that I wasn't really used to this sort of relation at first, because I like, obviously I think Japanese people are like naturally a little bit more reserved, so their friendships look a little bit different to like what you may think the friendships are. So this like relation being like seeming like friends but not really is them actually like really being friends. There's just a lot of things that have happened, and they obviously were apart for a very long time, for like 10 years. So it also takes getting used to again and stuff like that. But yeah, they are definitely friends. It's just that, you know, the culture is different, and so the friendships look a little bit different as well. But you can definitely feel that Oz is the master, and that Gil kind of doesn't feel at the same level as Oz, despite being from the Night Raid Dukedom. So basically being at the same level as Oz, but at the same time still being his valet. So I have a little card here. What is this? Vincent is freaking psycho. Lol. Misogynistic and psychotic AF. The way his brain works is completely insane. LOL. And it's all for Gil. I do love we get to see more of what he's working on. I think a lot of plans were revealed in this volume, I think. So there's that. I really kind of wish that I could go through scenes, but that would take way too long. So we are moving on to volume 12, which I have given 4.5, and I think in this one I would actually agree with myself. Or I actually might have had a thought that this could also be a 5-star. So, okay, thoughts and quotes. I think this is mostly thoughts. This one had some humor again, which was nice to see. I know it's in there a lot, but the heavy stuff outweighs it. Love the cute dancing scene. Alice is so cute, and now her and Gil are getting along, which is awesome. Adore seeing more of what's on Vincent's mind, etc. He's a psycho, obviously, lol, but it's also painful at the same time because of his memories, where Gil is his everything and he's feeling jealous till this day, but also guilty. Yeah, I call Vincent a psycho a lot of the time, but it is heavily because of his PTSD. So I think that it's also kind of, you know, not fitting to call him a psycho. I wonder what Gil wants to talk to him about when he remembers past. Oh yeah, I remember his shocked face when Gil like came and he was like, do you still not remember anything? And Vincent was just smiling like, haha, no, I don't. He when Gil was leaving, he was like, when you remember, like, we will have to talk. And I was just like, wow, older brother vibes, like intimidated. It's so good. See, that's why I love him. Like, that's the sort of Gil that I also like love so much. Drake told Sharon he's blind. Oh my god, yeah, because Drake is blind. That was so sad. Yes, she still wanted to dance with him. The terrace, the balcony or whatever. Oh my god. This is a crying face here. But like, gosh. And WTF, Oz might not be the kid. Oh yeah, I think that we a little sprinkle, like a seed put there, that Oz might not be the child that was born to the Vesalius family, and that they were switched, which is also foreshadowing already, and that's really in your face. Like, it's basically said here and this happens later. So that's why his father doesn't approve / hates him, because it's not his child. Surprise face. Basically, yes. This is a quote. Seeing the same things doesn't necessarily mean walking together. Sometimes people can follow different paths and yet still meet. That is so true. I love that. Gil seems a little... This is my thought, by the way. Gil seems a little bit more calm, has a different energy about him, more serious, grown-like, responsible / reliable. Exactly what, yes, this. Like, you could see that in the Vincent scene. Love that him and Elliot are shown together way more now. That is so true, because I was also curious about the Elliot Gilbert relationship the last time that I read it, and I'm still curious about it now, even though I know that we won't get a lot of it, which is very sad. But Elliot's story is also just super heartbreaking, because a lot of his family was killed off by the Queen of Hearts, which is, you know, why Elliot wanted to be so good. He wanted to hunt down the Queen of Hearts, basically, but he said that it's not for revenge, really. Cute tea party. Oh my god, yeah! They did have a tea party! I completely forgot about this. But they did have a tea party. Because it was fun to just see the humor again and them being like kind of more relaxed and Oz and Elliot becoming friends. Yeah, it was very cute. Oh my god, yeah, and they went to the Duke's mansion as well. All of them dressed up was a funny part, and Oz being a cute girl. Yeah, he basically was dressed as a maid, and some dude was like completely smitten. It was just so funny. Oz is really clever, super what? Super resourceful, inclusive, accepting, and is just the best. And it's because of his uncle too, who considers him a son. Crying face. Yeah. How oh, that is so cute and so true. Yeah. Oz is such a good character. The ending of chapter 48, lol. I'm gonna have to check that. Again, Alice was so cute. People drooling over Gil and Vince. Lol. Oh yeah, because they dressed up for the coming of age party. Like, you could see that Gil was uncomfortable, but like the females just saw him as this like stunner, and same with Vincent. It's just so funny. The WTF is the connection between Leo and Yura. Oh yeah, because we saw the thing about this Ayla Yura, where coming of age party of Oz's was happening at his mansion and stuff again, just so they could release the spirit or whatever of Jax, because like of Glenn's from Jack's body, because they basically chopped off and closed off Jack's body parts with Glenn's soul or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was something like that, and they are like slowly releasing Glenn's powers or soul or whatever. And one of the monuments that was like holding Jack or Glenn, whatever, was in this person's, Ayla Yura's house. And so yeah, they were very sneaky and they got there. But we also found out that Leo is actually having a lot of tough days now, and it was also Elliot who said that, but we just saw that Yura knows about Leo, and we don't really know what the connection is here, but we will. Yes, we will. Chapter 48. Those are all my thoughts from my reading journal from the last time that I've read it. Oh my goodness. On Manga app, there is Black Butler, 14 volumes free until April 17th. Chapters leading up to upcoming anime free. That is crazy. The app seems to be doing that a lot, because they did a similar thing with the Apothecary Diaries, but it's just something that I want to show you because it's just super pretty. It's so good. So good. Yeah, Elliot had this. Yeah, I was definitely thinking that it's Elliot, like being the reincarnation of Glenn, because he saw this entire scene, this happening. He saw that and he basically like passed out here. Break here with the basketball kid and stuff. Gil showed up and he almost killed Oz's father, but obviously he didn't. Obviously. Like, he tried that once before, as you can see, but he didn't shoot. This time he didn't either. Elliot really did see how Oz's relationship is with his father. It was very heartbreaking, actually. Just look at this art. This art is just beautiful. And I've been recording for way too long right now. The break stopped Gil, and he actually like told him a lot of stuff here, which is crazy. Here, insane. And this, oh, I love him so much. Love him. I love them so much. Oh yeah, and this is the quote that I actually read you before, but like in a better translation. The premise that Oz would return. And so you stop telling people what you saw with your own eyes, and like that, while suppressing your hatred with hope, you've lived these last 10 years. Just look and break. I love him so much. He is so cool. The coolest. The coolest. The coolest. And the faces that he makes are so cool as well. Ugh, just perfect. Oh, this is us with the scythe of bee rabbits. Helped him here because she like hit him. So that was very cool. Oh, I love them so much. Love them so much. And Alice always knows when something is wrong with us. This was so funny too, because she tried kissing his cheek. Okay, for some reason, I think all of these chapters right now are available to read for free. So that's cool, but I need to find chapter 48 to see, because I've been recording for way too long now. Oh, it was the Ayla Yura chapter. Yeah, that was so cringe and crazy. Yeah, this is what this is what the seals look like. And I think, if I remember this correctly, looked this way in order to keep Glenn's soul locked in there. It was so cool how Oz started pretending to be Jack, and he did so well as well. And I really loved that Duke Barma actually went for it as well. So cool. Ah, this was it. Okay, so this ending. Because, like I said, Oz is just too good at what he does. He really is. With that, we are done with part 2 of this video. Which is really crazy, because that means that we have 2 parts left, which means that I have 12 volumes to go. It's insane. That is insanity. We are starting at chapter 50, volume 13 in the next video, but for now, this is it. This is part 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts, if you've read Pandora Hearts, if you are rereading Pandora Hearts as well, or are new to it and stuff like that, you can let me know in the comments and we can chat about it, because I would really love to have someone to chat about this too. Thank you so much for watching. This was probably very long as well, so if you made it this far, like, you're a gem. Thank you so much. And you can subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out the other 2 videos for Pandora Hearts reading vlogs, which I'm enjoying doing so much. I just wish I had a little bit more time, but this is, you know, life. I can do everything, unfortunately, no matter how much I would want to. You can leave a like if you want to. You can subscribe, like I said. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in my next video, whenever that's gonna come around. Thank you so much again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!